What's going on, guys? It's the Saucy Sock here bringing you guys another video. And in this one, we're going to work on running the football more efficiently. There's a lot of people that ask, how do I run the football better? It seems like the defensive lineman is always shedding my offensive line. There's a couple things you need to keep in mind when you run the football. Number one, you got to pay attention to how many defenders are in the box, first off. The box meaning people within, your defensive lineman, the linebackers, how many people are in the, around the tackle box, around the offensive lineman, okay? That's as simple as I can keep it. Number two, certain run plays are better than others. I think we all know that. Any kind of off tackle, inside zone, and wide zone are really good run plays. I'm using Georgia, but I'm out of the Alabama playbook. You don't need to be in the Alabama playbook to run the ball well, obviously. But this formation has some really good runs. And another thing you really got to keep in mind too, I'm going to call off tackle here, and I'm going to call random defense. The number one thing in this game is you can't press right trigger too early when you run the football, or else the defensive lineman is just going to shed your offensive line. And what I mean by that is, as soon as your running back gets the ball, you don't want to press right trigger right away. You want to find a gap, or you want to find where you're going to run the football to first, and then hold right trigger. That way, your offensive lineman can stay engaged in blocks, and it gives you a little bit more time to pick a crease and make your decision from there. That way, the offensive line's not getting shedded, and you're going to be able to pick up 5 or 6 yards. You want to be able to run as far downfield as possible before point of contact is made. That's obvious. But if you're pressing right trigger to, sprint too early, you're going to get shed, and the point of contact might be at 1 yard, 2 yards, which isn't going to generate big runs. So I'm running off tackle here out of the Alabama playbook, and a good little tip to keep in mind too is if you want to see how this play is being blocked, hold left trigger and press right or left on the right stick and hold it down. It shows you how this play is being blocked. Now we have roughly about a 6-man box. We kind of have a 7th defender kind of lurking in just outside of it. So running the ball here might be a little difficult. Maybe out of this you could audible or check into maybe an inside run. I feel like an inside run off maybe the center's right thigh and the left guard or right guard there would probably work well. But we could still run this. We're going to run off tackle. This is how the play call is looking to be ran. Now, I'm not going to press right trigger as soon as I get the ball handed off. Once my running back gets the ball, I'm going to see what I like, and I'm going to try to pick a hole and take it. So let's run this play. All right, I'm not holding right trigger. Now I hold it. I get shed off my number 55, and that's before I even press the right trigger. That's going to happen. Let's run it again. Okay, I'm not holding right trigger. I find where I want to go. Now I'm pressing it. You see how the offensive linemen kind of stay on the block a little bit better? We'll do it again. They're in a prevent defense here. Now I'm holding right trigger, and then you can get open space. That doesn't really count. They're in a prevent defense. Okay, here we go. Not holding right trigger. Now I go. Put a move on defender, and I get about 8, 9 yards. Efficient, right? You want to get your runs. If you're getting 4 or 5 yards per carry, that's pretty efficient running. It keeps you ahead of schedule. It keeps the playbook open. Now I'm going to audible to an inside zone here. I see there's only one linebacker. I got about 5 people in the box here, and we have 6 blockers. So we should be able to run this pretty well. I'm looking to run right up the middle here, right behind my center. As you can see, the center is going right for that linebacker. Now, it's very important, again, that we don't press the right trigger too early. We cannot get this defensive line to shed too early. And sometimes it's going to happen regardless if you hold the right trigger or not, but it just gives you the best chance of success for your offensive lineman to hold their blocks. So we're going to call this run play here. I'm not holding right trigger. Now I go. And unfortunately, again, sometimes you get shed even if you don't hold right trigger. It just happens in this game. But more times than not, you'll find that you'll have more time to pick a hole and you'll get some better runs out of it. So inside zone again, snap, not holding right trigger, find a crease, now I hit the gas. You see that? It's 10 yards. Now here, I got 2 linebackers kind of sitting in the middle there, so I probably wouldn't call outside zone. I'm going to check back into an off tackle. Maybe we can hit the edge on the outside if we get some good blocks from the wide receivers. Not holding right trigger. I see a hole right here. Now I hit the right trigger. You see how I was able to be patient and I didn't rush anything. I kind of was patient, waited to see what was opening up. And because I'm not holding right trigger, my back is going to have a better change of direction. If you're not sprinting, you're able to make cuts better, and it just buys you more time to make a read on where you want to run the football to. The minute you see the crease you want to go through, then you could press right trigger, turn on the gas, and try to put a move on the defender. So right here, I got 2 linebackers kind of sitting in the middle here. Inside run. Might not be the best play call here, but I do like this off tackle. Only 3 defenders out there. So let's snap. See a hole. Now I hit the gas. And then 6-7 yards every time. So those are just ways that you can run the ball a little bit better. I'll show you a wide zone on a pistol here. This is a really effective run in my opinion. Anything that kind of attacks the outside, the tackle area, and maybe towards the sidelines are really good runs in this game. Sometimes it requires a really good user to stop that. So we're going to call a random play out of the 3-4 odd. You want to take a look too at where the defense is aligned. So if I'm running wide zone to the right, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders, 5 defenders on that side with a linebacker kind of splitting or right above the center. So right here, I kind of like running this and flipping this to the left. There's less defenders over there, so it's going to look like this. Let's see how it's being blocked. I got a wide receiver that should be able to seal the edge there, so we're going to try to hit the edge and see what we can get. Snap, not holding right trigger. Now I am, and then I could put a move on a guy, and then we can get a very big run there. So you got to take into account a lot of the times running the ball is a numbers game. You want to see where you're running the football to and what do your blockers look like compared to how many defenders they have in that area where you're going to run the football to. If you don't like it, it's never a bad idea to audible out or flip the play. So right here, we're running wide zone again. I kind of like the look that I'm getting on this right side here. Let's look how it's blocked. So right here, I'm kind of reading my 2 tight ends on this side. However they block those guys is kind of how I'm going to dictate where I'm running the football to. And we're not going to press right trigger until we make a decision of what gap we're going to hit. So let's run it. So it looks like I could hit this tackle right here. I cut it upfield, and I'm holding right trigger, 10 yards. That's just how you run the ball better. I'm going to show you some examples of what it's like if you run the football and you press right trigger as soon as the running back gets the football. Just watch this. Holding right trigger. You see how everything kind of gets like shed a lot easier there? We'll do it again. Even here, we might be able to get lucky. Nope, see, I'm holding right trigger. You see how he was able to shed off that defender right there and make that tackle even though I had a lane? It's because I was holding sprint, and sprint just triggers sheds. Okay, so now we're going to do it the right way. We're going to try to hold off the right trigger as long as we can and get the best blocks that we can get. So now here we go. Look how it's blocked. I got a left tackle on that defensive end. Hope if we win that, and then we're able to run the ball efficiently. If we don't, we move on to the next play. We're going to snap the ball. We're not going to press right trigger until we make our mind up of where we're running the football to. Here we go. Snap. Not holding right trigger. I see the gap. I'm going to try to hit it there. Now I'm holding right trigger, get 10 yards. You see how my offensive lineman's just not getting shed as bad. Sometimes you're still going to get shed. That's just part of the game. I'm not saying that this is some cheat code to get 10 yards every single time. I'm just saying it gives you a better chance of success and getting more efficient runs. So keep that in mind. Recapping everything I've said, don't press the right trigger as soon as the running back gets the ball. When you hand the ball off, make the read, look how the offensive lineman is blocking it, give your blocks time to develop before you just hit the gas and go. Call good run plays. Like I said, inside zones and any kind of wide zones is probably where you want to live, as well as off tackles. There's some other good run plays that I'll show you here too. I like 45 quick base. It's not a bad run. Halfback dives aren't really the best runs in this game. I've tried it a few times. Maybe you can make it work. I personally have not been able to. Halfback draw, I probably want to stay away from. Takes a little too long to develop. But your inside zones, your crack tosses, you don't really want to run those either. I feel like the toss animations out of shotgun are just not too good in this game. If you find duo in your playbook, duo is usually a pretty strong run. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Hopefully this helps you out. It's nothing crazy. I'm not saying that this is some cheat code where you're all of a sudden going to run for 400 yards. But if you just be patient when the running back grabs the football and you don't press right trigger right away, then you're going to have more success in running the ball. You're not going to get shed as quick, and your point of contact initially might be like 5 or 6 yards as compared to 1 or 2 yards. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.